How's everyone doing? Thanks for joining me on the channel. Today's video is going to show you something I always do anytime I clean or replace the carburetor on any small engine. So once again, welcome everyone. Thanks again for joining me. To those who are subscribers, I do appreciate you coming back and checking out further videos. For those who are not subscribers, if you're interested in, just generic small engine repair type stuff for lawnmowers, snowblowers, and whatnot, this is the channel for you. I'd post content on a weekly basis, going over some very common issues that I come across when I'm dealing with small engines. So if that sounds like something that you might be interested in, go ahead and hit the subscribe button and the bell notification. That way you'll be notified each and every week that I post some new content. So as I said earlier in the intro, one thing that I've come to make sure I always do when I'm dealing with small engine carburetor type fuel system fixes is that once I go ahead and clean or replace a carburetor, the one thing that you must or you should always do is to check the remainder of the fuel system on your machine. The reason I say this is far too many times you can go ahead and spend the money to replace the carburetor and the time either clean it out and or put it back on your machine, and then you go ahead and hook up your fuel line to that nice fresh clean carburetor or brand new carburetor, and the fuel that's going into it is just the junky old fuel from maybe last year, which is probably part of the reason why you had to replace and clean it the first time. Alright, so first thing you're going to want to do after you clean out or replace your carburetor is go in and drain out the fuel tank. Okay, so sometimes on lawnmowers you can just tip them over. Sometimes you have to, all you have to do is basically just unclamp the fuel line that you had hooked up to your carburetor and let the fuel drain out of the tank. Okay, so drain out all the fuel out of the tank, and even if it's brand new fuel, I want you to drain out the fuel. And the reason being is on this guy in particular, okay, I took off the carburetor, and then before putting on my freshly cleaned carburetor, I drained out the fuel. Now the fuel was a little bit on the old side, maybe a year old. It's not really great for running in these small engines due to the 10% ethanol in most of our fuel nowadays. So drain out the fuel, go get some fresh non-ethanol fuel if you can find it, and if not, go ahead and get some whatever fuel that you have available, and before you put some new fuel in this gas tank, what I need you to do is go in and look inside the gas tank. Now this is freshly cleaned out. I'm going to post a little picture of what I found inside this fuel tank and why it's so important that you don't just clean out your carb or replace your carb and then just put it back on. So guys, as you can see from that picture, there was a pile of junk in this fuel tank, and if I had just gone ahead and just put fresh fuel in there, it might have been okay. There's fuel filters, little screens, but inevitably some of that garbage is going to probably make its way through your fuel system and into your carburetor and cause you more issues in the future. Alright, so guys, that's just one little quick tip that I found just from working on these small engines that hopefully will help you. I know it's a little bit of extra work. Sometimes you have to take the fuel tank off of these things, and if you want to know how to do that on this particular machine, I'll post a link to a video in the top right there now. It is quite extensive to take the whole fuel tank off on this thing. Lawnmowers is not that big of a deal. Some other snowblowers, not as much of a deal. But you know what, guys? Better to be safe than sorry and then have to do all that work all over again because you just put junk back into your carburetor. So just a quick tip for you guys. Thanks again for checking out my channel, and if you like the content, please hit the like button. That really helps me out. Gives me more motivation for posting more of these videos. And as always, any questions, go ahead and post them in the comments. I'll try and get to as many or all of them as I can. And until the next project, guys, take care.